Welcome to our December 10th school board meeting. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, cool. I'm going to start us off tonight. Tonight is Jill's last school board meeting. Jill served on the board with us for 8 years. I've had the pleasure of doing 6 of those with her. And one thing I'll tell you in 6 years of being with Jill, the word passionate comes to mind.
That's fair. That's fair.
Whether it is a hot topic or whether it is a caring topic, Jill shows the same amount of passion every time. Her dedication to our students and our staff and our teachers is second to none. What she's done in the last 3 years with C9?
Well, 4.
4 years with C9. We are completely updated on everything. I know she's attending at least one meeting, down there. They just went through an admin change and also a upgrade. It was almost like we were in the same room with her with what she brings back to us. The one thing I really, really like about Jill is there's been a couple times over the years that her and I didn't start at the same end of the conversation. But what is so great, and it's like that with all the board, the open-mindedness, the having different thoughts, different experiences, and being able to just listen, to accept, and input. I know she's educated me over the last 6 years a few times, and I hope that I educated her just by seeing different views. She's 100% going to be missed. She's not going to be far because her work at the library has played hand in hand with us numerous times. Everybody on the board kind of has a little niche or a little area that they have a little bit more experience in than someone else. And the library coming in, some of our special programs, she had firsthand knowledge. So when we're seeing something and going, well, I don't get that, Jill's going, well, think about this, this, and this because I've dealt with it. And it's just that great unity of what everybody brings together in this room. And like I said, it's going to be greatly, greatly missed. I 100% respect you. I value your opinion. I value the friendship that we've built. And on behalf of the school board, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jill. Yes, absolutely. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Just some things from all of us to let you know how much we love you.
Well, thank you so much.
There is a cozy orange cashmere blanket in there. So on Tuesday nights, you can wrap yourself up and know that you're not sitting here. Guys, we love you so much.
Well,
Thank you
and
for everything.
I love all of you so much. I truly, everybody's asked me, are you sad? And I'm not sad. I'm nostalgic, but I'm not sad because I've worked with such a great group of people that I have the opportunity to still see anytime I want to. Rob is right. Our board is exceptional, and having April come on is only going to even increase that even more. You are a wonderful group of people. The administration, the teachers, the staff, our students and our families are all better because of the work that all of you do in this room. And I am so thankful for being able to be a part of that for 8 years. I have learned so much. I have grown so much. I've been loved and supported so much as well. And I will miss all of you, but I'm at 1102 Main Street, 40 hours plus a week. So come and update your library cards. And I appreciate all of you. Keep my number in your phones. And if you ever need me, just let me know. Thank you so much.
I don't mean to interrupt
You're
the
fine.
meeting, President Chalice, but we had the occasion, thank you Janice for your vision, to invite our school resource officers here tonight. So we wondered if maybe, if you don't mind, we would have them introduce themselves and
I think that would be a great thing for Lieutenant Reams to speak about.
Absolutely. So Lieutenant Reese, why don't you take the lead on that? There you go. That's your buddy.
How are you guys? So I'm Lieutenant Rakes. I've been in the schools since 2020. Our program has been going on since, was it 2012? And Officer Parker obviously was the first SRO we had here. Kind of a vision of Dennis Buckley with Dr. Kaiser and Mark Swartz at the time was the chief. And Kaiser really, I think, saw the value in it and pushed to expand it. And that came about in the referendum in 2020. And then when it came in 2022, one, yeah. You came in and immediately won a state championship.
That's right.
And Dr. Hammond has helped continue it. So I've been here since 2020. Mark has been here since 2012, left in 2018, and then came back in 2020. And Officer Hartman has been helping out with the schools for 10 plus years, doing little things, helping out as a part-time SRO before he became full-time last year. And then our newest is our little ball of fire, Jerry Reese, who I think is going to be great, kind of helping us push to the next step in this program. And, you know, I really am a believer in the SRO program. I think we do a lot of good things. It's a good partnership. I know Carmel Police is probably the gold standard, the considered gold standard of an SRO program in the state, but I would put up any of our guys against any of their SROs, and I would put our program against theirs all day. I think we're as good, if not better, in most categories that they're considered, but they have 50 SROs, I think, so it's hard to keep up with that. Yeah, they have SROs, they have 2 or 3 in every school at this point. So with that, does anybody have any questions? I heard maybe some of you guys had questions about the program or want information on what we do during the day.
Will Officer Reese be at Central and?
He is at Central, and then Officer Hartman floats between Hornet Park and South Grove and kind of floats as needed. And Reese will cover for me if I have to take a day off or I have to go to training or something. He comes over to the high school because right now, you know, Andy is just doing the change and the way we've reconfigured the schools have been fantastic. I think definitely from a discipline standpoint. I mean, all the schools I think are doing much better. It seems like a good flow. So that gives Officer Reese an opportunity to bounce around. He's for the next few weeks, he's going to be bouncing around between every school, just kind of checking in and getting to know everybody, getting up to speed. So I think all the kids in our district are going to get FaceTime with SROs if they want it. They'll see us regularly now. And we're usually out in the halls or checking doors, doing kinds of things like that. Kind of do a lot of different things. You know, our main goal obviously is to protect the students and keep a safe learning environment. But, you know, fortunately for us, you know, we're very lucky. I think we've had, I don't know, we would probably have a fight every 6 weeks, maybe. And I know when I talk to SROs at Franklin Township, Decatur schools, Warren schools, I mean, they're having fights every day. Every single day they're having fights at their schools. So I think that's a testament to everybody in the district that we try to keep up on those and keep orderly hallways and keep a safe environment. I think we have significantly less problems. I mean, vaping is always going to be an issue in every school across America, and I don't care if you're paying $30,000 a year to send your kid to that school, there's a kid in that bathroom vaping. It is just the way it goes right now. But we do a lot of different things, like even today, we had speeding complaints that some of our students were speeding, either leaving for lunch or coming back from lunch. And Officer Hartman set up on Hornet today with his radar, and we got to give out some reminders. We didn't write any tickets, but we gave out some reminders to some of our high school students about the speed on Hornet, talked to their parents about it and reminded them that they should not be speeding, so, which was good. The parents were very receptive. They were excited they didn't get tickets, but were very concerned, and it seemed like they would have conversations with their students. So it's just another piece we do. We can do a little bit. We're going to have to work on this. Apparently some of our kids are going on the trail with cars possibly, so we're
Allegedly, yes.
so we're working on that. It's a lot of different things. I think the 80% of what we do is either mentoring or kind of being another counselor, a resource. And that goes with just us trying to build relationships with the students. Being maybe a different voice or just a different person to talk to. And I think it's pretty effective. We have a lot of kids that just will come into our offices and just talk to us, or it helps us open up that communication if we're having problems at home too. Things that might be a police issue. It kind of creates a environment where they feel comfortable talking to us, especially some of our minority students. I think we've really worked hard to build those connections where otherwise they might have had negative interactions with police. I think we kind of really pride ourselves on trying to be positive role models, just positive in their lives, so they can talk to us and kind of take down some of those stereotypes of police officers. But did anybody have any questions about our program? Yeah.
If a child talks to a teacher and there could be a need for child protective services, do you guys get involved before they talk to them, or do they have to talk to them first before you can sort of get involved and see if the family is actually having something happen?
So for me, my philosophy on that is, and we talk, anytime there's an issue where CPS might be involved, usually one of our SROs gets notified to see if it's something that we also need to do a police investigation on our side, or write a report, or bring in other resources from that. And my philosophy on calling CPS is, I always tell anybody if they ask me, should I call CPS, my answer is always yes. Because it's just one of those things we are required to report, and I think every building does a really good job of filing those reports, and we try to make it to where the person that initially has that contact, the teacher, the counselor, whatever, files that initial report, so it's fresh information, not third party. But it's one of those things that I always just tell people, if you feel like you should, you should. And the answer is always yes, because it is one of those things in Marion County. If something goes bad, you didn't call CPS, you're probably going to get charged by our prosecutor. He has a very limited window of things he will charge, but that's probably one he would charge, because you go to Fox 59 and said, I just arrested a teacher for failing to notify CPS. That's kind of like the heavy side of it, but I just try to be very clear with our teachers. Like, if you feel like you should, absolutely have to. Just, we don't want to mess with that. We don't want to be wrong.
And do you guys talk to the students?
Yeah. We'll talk to the students and parents. It just kind of depends on, every investigation is very, just depends on what the scenario and the situation is. But I mean, we had a situation today, I really can't get into specifics at the high school, but we had to do a CPS call and file a police report, and it'll be further investigation. But it's kind of things that happen. We probably filed more reports this year than we have in a while. And obviously, you guys know we've had a couple of arrests out of the high school, which is the first time. I don't think we had any arrests last year. That's kind of our goal every year, is it's like we really like to go through every year with no arrests. And that's not to say we try to push things under a rug or avoid arrests. And if arrest needs to be done, we will. But we try to resolve everything at a school level, and that's also from the prosecutor. They want 90% of what happens in a school to be dealt with at the school level. They don't see a need, if a kid gets caught with, say, a marijuana vape, the prosecutors don't want us charging them. They're already going to get enough trouble at the school. They don't want to deal with that. They have, unfortunately, we have a lot of violent crime among juveniles in this county that they would prefer to things, but they have really screenshots floating around, and it was, I mean, there was one day, I spent 2 or 3 hours working on a supposed threat from our school, but it ended up coming from, I think, Hamilton Heights. But it was also at the same day, Hamilton Heights got it, originated from one of their students, and Carmel was dealing with it, and Perry was dealing with it. So luckily, we have a pretty good network of SROs who were able to communicate and share information, track it down to where it came from. So.
Not a question, but I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight, all the SROs. It's really nice to get to meet a lot of you for the first time tonight. All I ask is please do not be strangers. If there's anything we can do to help you, or if there's something that we need to know, please let us know,
Sure.
as much as possible. But thank you again for coming tonight, and I appreciate meeting you.
And I'm available. If you guys have questions, you can reach out and say, hey, we'd love to have you on Tuesday. We have some questions. Or feel free to shoot me an email or call me. I know Tara's called me a handful of times with questions, and I don't mind. Like, we're an open book on this program. I mean, it's you guys helped start it. You guys fund it. It is a community-based program. If you have questions or want to know what we're offering, feel free.
We talk about having you guys, even if it's one officer at a time, come every month, just so some of the parents can get to know who you are and know what you're doing with the kids, so they know, what's going on.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, we're here for you guys too. So it's, we want to make sure you guys know where your money's being spent and how it's being spent. So, but we work really hard, and I would say we're definitely one of the better programs in the state. I would stake my whole reputation on it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for coming. I know I've met a few of you. I think my son almost flipped over your table at the restaurant, sorry. He's a handful. So it's nice to see you guys, out and about in public and here as well. So thank you for all that you do. And I'm just interested in kind of just what your day looks like, or if you're having any issues. I think you were participating in a PE class maybe. So I mean that's awesome. And we'd love to share those stories too with the community. So just anything like that, we're happy to hear.
It's a lot. I stay pretty busy at school, and I don't know. All my kids are going through the schools. Like I know these kids, so I'm out there talking to them all the time. Hartman is just a rock star when he walks through Hornet Park and South Carolina. It's like Elvis is walking. and Reese is starting to hit the same status, and then Mark just does. He's like the old dad in the middle school. He's
Watch it.
Watch it. And they know him and respect him, and he does a lot for them. And I got to get my digs on Mark here.
We love you, Dad.
We're out. I mean, you just never know where. I mean, sometimes nothing happens, and it's a pretty chill day. But I mean, we're busy all day. We're just doing this weird stuff. Sometimes you just ask or kids stuff where you go, kid, like, what are we doing? And sometimes it's just we don't do with the discipline per se, but we usually will help out. I know the middle school is the same way when I was there, and the high school the same way. Kind of just more on the kind of mentoring and coaching side when kids get in trouble, but, I'm always great checking our athletes, and every time I have to talk to them, like, what do your grades look like? And you can tell pretty quickly because they're either good or they're like, all right, what are we struggling in? So, gotta stay busy. Mr. Chalice, did you have any questions?
No, I did want to point out, when we were getting the school threats, they were literally going through every district in Marion County because IMPD was getting just bombarded with it. These kids were getting these random snapshots and then putting them on their feed, and their parents going, without reading or looking at anything, oh my God, that's your school, and then it was just spreading like wildfire. So I don't think any of the threats were actually through Beech Grove except for one comment in a classroom, right?
Yeah. Yes. So we had one incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, alleged.
So obviously this year, I mean, as everybody knows, and it made the news, but that fight in a classroom, and 2 kids were arrested from that investigation. And then, like a week later, we did have a kid make a verbal threat in a classroom. We were able to verify that he did. And so he and another student were arrested for that. And then like a week later, we had a threat at Central that was, we investigated that. And I think the day before that, we were at the one in middle school. It was like back to back. But, so Chad, Mann, and I have kind of been taking over those investigations. If we have threats, we have a pretty good plan in place on how we handle them and how we investigate them. But every time we get one, we do take the information wherever it takes us and we try to investigate them. And if someone does make a verifiable threat, they're going to be charged in this county. But we also, if it's not correct, because we've had some students lie about it this year, unfortunately, and they have been punished for it accordingly through school-based discipline. But every one of them, we, take it through as far as we can and investigate exhaustively. It's unfortunately, Chad and I got pretty good at it to start the school year. But that was everybody in the county. And it was nationwide. It was crazy for a while. A lot of the discussion boards with SROs, and we have an email chain with like every SRO in central Indiana, and they were all just kidding.
Thank you all for all you do. So grateful. Thank you.
We have no public comment. I guess I can consider that public comment. Ms. Garvin.
Hello. All right, I want to highlight the Thanksgiving dinner because I think this is so cool, I guess, for lack of a better word. We had 330 pounds of turkey prepared at the Thanksgiving dinner, which was 11 cases, and only one pan, I'm reading this, was left over, and that was about 10 to 15 pounds. So it was really nice. I really, really appreciate Claire for counting plates, keeping track of the turkey, because I failed on that, and I said I was going to try to keep count, and then I got talking as I do, and I didn't, and she knew how much. So it was a lot of fun. It really was really neat, and if you were there, I think my favorite part were the servers. We had the National Honor Society from the middle school, the high school. We had 4th grade cheer. We had, that was from there, we had Central basketball, we had something from every school. And the kids were there serving, and if you saw the smiles on their faces, it was the neatest thing. It was really, really neat, and that's my word, that's my official word, it was neat. So that is a good night. So that's my highlight on that, and then coming in January, we will have the new newsletter. It's going to be much more streamlined. It's going to be shorter, as I think most people are probably happy about. So when you see it, if it's not as fluffy and fancy, it will get better, but we're doing this for translations. We're doing this so all kids, all families will be able to read this newsletter regardless of your home language. And I think that's incredibly important. And they can send it to their home, and anyone is going to be able to read it. That is the goal. That should work. There's snafus and anything with technology, but in January you will see it slightly different. So that's kind of where I am right there. Mr. Dallas?
Mr. Garvin, personnel.
Requesting approval of the submitted personnel report and the 2024-25 Beech Grove City Schools Teacher Handbook. I listed for you the current openings. Bus and bus monitor are pretty much on there all the time. But you can see we have a JROTC instructor that is Colonel Edens is retiring, so we will be replacing that position. We did have a INPERS, which is the Indiana Public Retirement System. We had a retirement workshop on November 19th that was fairly well attended, and we'll have a second one on January 23rd, just to try to help our folks understand better their, not just how their retirement works in Indiana, but also a little bit better insight into what they face as they get closer to retirement and the options that they have. Mr. Austin and Mrs. Marr and I had a chance to visit William Henry Harrison High School just outside Cincinnati, Ohio on the 20th of November. That was a great visit. We went there to look at their advanced manufacturing lab, which is something we're very interested in looking at here at the high school. We kind of couple with an engineering pathway as well. And while we were there, we did a lot of really taking a look at their STEM program in general, their biomedical program, and it's a very interesting high school. It's a little bit bigger than us, but they're doing some really neat things, and it's always great to be able to visit other schools and pick people's brains about what they're doing. From a food service perspective, I wanted just let you know that Clara and our dietitian Lauren Fields have been working with our FFA. There's a new program called the Farm Fresh program. I think it's really a neat and exciting program, and Mr. Bullock is talking about using hydroponics to grow produce that then we can use. So not only can we provide them with the plants or the seeds, we can then pay them for the produce that can be served in our cafeterias. So I think that is a really neat program, and ironically, when we went to William Henry Harrison High School, they're doing this program too. They had hydroponics and they're growing produce that they're using in their cafeterias. And then finally, on food service, I just wanted to give you an update. I've done this once before, let you know that the federal government kind of had a new ruling. We are not able to provide free breakfast and lunch through the CEP program and also free snacks through CACFP. They just won't let you do that anymore. So it's created quite a problem this year, and Rob's been trying to work on that. We tried to continue to provide snacks. Rob tried to reach out and get some donations, but it was a little bit difficult. It's for our preschool, we subsidized it for a while, but it's about $650 a month, and we kind of came to the conclusion that we can't sustain that any longer. So we'll have to think about whether we want to maybe build that into the fee structure next year, or how important those afternoon snacks are. But in case you heard feedback, I just wanted you to know that it wasn't anything we did. It's just we can't get reimbursed for both any longer. And that's it.
Can I get a motion to approve the employment recommendations as listed?
I'll move.
I got Beth and April on a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And can I get a motion to approve the 2024-2025 teacher handbook?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Brian? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Dr. Hammock?
Yes, just quickly, I wanted to provide the board and intend to do the very same every month. Just a brief update on our Lilly Grant strategic planning work. I'm just unbelievably excited about the engagement that we have with Education Elements. They have proven to be far exceeding our hopes and our expectations. The way that they have executed our engagement with the community, sort of next level in a very short amount of time. We have, I just thought the board would be interested in this, with our focus groups, and by the way, many thanks to our school board for participating in your own unique focus group. We had 8 focus groups convened. 2 of those groups included students. One group was 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The next was 9th through 12th graders. We had a specific parent group. We had so much parent interest, we ended up blending a parent and community group. Community was sort of intended for folks who have some sort of connection to Beech Grove, but not necessarily have children who are attending Beech Grove City Schools. We had a K-6 teacher and staff group. We had a grade 7 through 12 teacher staff group. We had an administrator focus group. So in focus group conversations, each of those taking an hour, we had 125 people engaged. And then the survey was executed. Survey went to students. The survey was also canvassed throughout our Parent Square community. We even used the Beech Grove community Facebook page to get the word out. And we think that that worked out very, very well because as of last Thursday evening, and the survey went through Friday, we had 1,500 engagements of full survey submission. And they are expecting, because we had a final push on Friday, that we should have about 1,700 survey submissions by the end of this process. So the next step is that all of this data is now being compiled and analyzed. The steering committee, of which there are 15 people represented, is meeting next Thursday, so not Thursday this week, a week from Thursday. And we will spend the entire day together analyzing all of that feedback, and ultimately, it will help to determine some of the themes of areas of need and areas of areas that we are doing well. It's quite strategic. It is, I'm so excited for the final work product, because this will be, we envision that this strategic plan will be something that now will kind of reinvent our board meetings, and that I will be held accountable to the action items that are indicated in the plan. And so I will make reports to you all in our board meetings specific to the work that is going to result. Just very excited about this, and so excited to pull together this Lilly grant, which, by the way, February 14th, Valentine's Day, someone else's birthday, is the day that we are submitting that grant. So for phase 2. So all good things. But I just thought the board would be interested in just a little bit of an update of where we were and that extraordinary level of engagement with our community. So we should have really great feedback coming. Any questions for me? All right, then we have a couple of different action items. First off, the board knows that for the past 2 months, I've been talking to you about providing on a kind of a very case-by-case basis a 100% virtual education program administered through Edmentum. We thought that it would be important for our records to memorialize that action with our board approving that creation. I want to be specific and share that because this virtual education program will not be serving more than 99 students, this is not a separate school. So we are not creating a school that needs a school number. This is a program that is administered by Beech Grove City Schools. We would just ask for your approval of the same.
Can I get a motion to approve the implementation of 100% virtual education program administered by the Edmentum title, Hornet Online?
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
Tara and April? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Very good, and this is tough, but we are looking forward to the rest of this year, looking at the year 2025. We do see that there will be times when Mr. Garman, Dr. Hammock are going to need some of the 30-some years of knowledge that Mr. Gearhart brings to the table. So we would just ask, like we have done with other transitions of administrative positions, for some consultative hours. In this case, asking to not exceed 50 total hours, and this would be over the course of the calendar year 2025. So from January 1 to December 31, and that allows for us to execute an entire year post Mr. Gearhart's retirement.
Can I get it?
We approve the Tom Gerhart consultant service.
Beth, second by
I'll second it.
Jill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Oh, yeah.
For a final time, unless it falls within 50 hours. Can we get an operations update?
Well, not much in this month, which is good in work operations needs. We don't have a whole bunch of roof leaks or air conditioning or boilers going out or anything else. So I did want to draw your attention to the last bullet on my report, just to be mindful of as we move forward. If a bus is more than 12 years old, it has to be inspected twice a year. This year we have 7 buses that have to be inspected twice a year. Next year we're going to have 12. So we need to be mindful about replacing those older buses when we have some money to do that. Otherwise, we're going to end up in the spot we were in, 12 years ago?
Exactly.
With really, really old buses, all of them. The other thing, I talked to the mayor this morning. We're going to add some sidewalk at Central to help with student dismissal, and some of that sidewalk needs to be repaired as well. So they're going to pony up half of that for us. And he did that without blinking an eye, so he's good. And the third thing, that picture is driving me nuts.
That's true.
It's a little crooked.
It's
Well,
really
it's
crooked.
hanging down.
And the buildings are all wrong.
Yes.
So we've got to get them all switched up because they're the wrong name and they're crooked and.
The little hangar is showing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're looking at it right over here.
Tom, you just left us with, like, whenever any of us now see a crooked picture, we're gonna think the same.
Did you just wait 30 years to complain about the decor? 31 and a half, okay.
Thank you.
All right, minutes and claims, let's bundle and save. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as well as approve the claims for November of 2024?
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
Tara on both, Brian on both. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, can I get a motion to approve the donations?
I'll make a motion to approve the donations and fundraisers. Can we do that, funder?
Absolutely. April? Second? I heard a voice. Janice? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And can I get a motion to approve the fundraisers?
I bundled it, but we did it
That's
together.
what we just.
Oh, okay, we'll bundle those two. Committee and community reports.
I do have a C9 report. All the inspections passed finally with the new C9 additions and construction and all of that. But the city of Greenwood still hasn't released the $50,000 account hold because it's the city of Greenwood. So they weren't happy about a few things, like Duke Energy had put a dirt access road in to be able to service some of the electrical equipment that was put in place for the new welding center. And it's just the city of Greenwood being difficult. So we should all be thankful that we don't have these challenges here at Beech Grove. So hopefully that will be released soon. The board member from Greenwood Community Schools is going to see if he can reach out and contact them to see if it can be released. I know in our work session, we're going to talk about reassignments for committees next year. There are 3 board members going off of C9, which puts us in a challenge. Dr. Kovach is concerned that there won't be a quorum for the meeting in January. So if one person could just go and just be there, and if you want to abstain from everything and not vote, although they'll explain everything to you, there's nothing really big going on lately. It's the second Thursday of the month, so for January, that will be the 9th of January. It's at 7, it's at the C9 building. They will make you dessert, the students do, it's always amazing. But if we can be conscientious in supporting that board to make sure somebody is there that day, it would be appreciated. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jill.
Okay, RDC, last month's meeting, I had an event, Brian was going to go for me, but it was the same night that,
I still attended, yeah.
Oh, you did?
So I joined the focus group outside and then I walked right in, so
oh,
it was
well,
okay.
excellent.
So there's some updates on the steering committee.
We did have our first meeting of that.
Yeah, so they were talking about the work that's being done on the comprehensive city plan, and just the amount of interest and what they're going through for steps. So if anybody's interested, I believe there's a video, I think, on the city website, or let me know if you have questions.
Board member superintendent success stories. Tonight is girls varsity first round of county. Beech Grove's beating Lutheran on their home court right now, 35-13 and a half.
Nice. Ooh, 35 girls.
35-13 and a half.
Again, I want to, on behalf of the board, thank you for 8 years of dedication. And we will miss her, but we know where she'll be.
Exactly.
She wasn't listening, so that's.
Right. All right, well, with that, I think it's only fitting
Can
that,
I get a move to
That-
adjourn the meeting?
absolutely.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Jill, who would like to second her?
I'll second her.
April, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:31.